Hello everybody, it's me Chris at Pro-Am with our 4 o'clock chat. Today we're going to do something I've been trying to find for a while, was to compare some fly gloves to others and to see if they justify the cost on them. Now this is the Fly this is the Fly Super Hook X. This is a 12 ounce. Obviously you have the super lace and the super hook and loop. Velcro. These ones are actually the PU version, or microfiber if you want to be posh. They do a leather version. The leather version, I believe, is just shy of £400, £385, £395, something like that. This PU version, which I believe is made in China, retails about £180. So for a 12 ounce bag glove or sparring glove, if you're a smaller junior boxer, similar things in the range you could, in that kind of glove you could buy. Obviously club range gloves, as you know, which are less than 3 times the cost and they're made of premium leather. Or at £90 you've got our Pro Sparring, which is a bit thicker, again premium Italian leather, £90. Then you go to, like, so we've got these Green Hill type gloves, or Green Hill gloves. These are leather again. They retail about £90. Same as a contest glove. And then we have the Sting, which is £65, but again it's more like these because they're a PU. Only difference being these have got the cloth palm where these don't. It's a matte PU and they're that lovely liquid moulded foam inner, where these, I will say, I've got a better, looks like a multi-layer foam. Now obviously these are only £65, so these are at the high end of the price range of all these. The dearest ones we've got here in PU. I think only Rival and another one who make the Chinese sort of microfiber size type glove, and I think they're microfiber Velcro strap ones, they come in a little bit cheaper than this, from about, I'd say from about £100 to £140 is the Rival gloves. It's a different kind of microfiber PU that Rival use. It's better than this, basically, in my opinion. So here we go. Now obviously I'm not going to cut these open like I have been doing the last few weeks. They don't belong to me. These belong to one of the boxers in our gym. Somebody bought him and his brother a pair each for Christmas. So they have been used a little bit, but as you can see they're still like fairly good condition. Now I'll go over it with you. It's got the thicker strap, a bit like our 14s and 16s have a thicker strap. On the 12s and 10s we have a thinner one because it's usually for smaller people. So it's got that. It's a little bit floppy, like T-pen gloves, to be honest. We don't like that floppiness in there. On the outer, it has no breather holes at all. And then we open it up, we can see it's just got a tiny label with 12 written on it there for sizing, and it's got a taffeta satin lining, which isn't bad. Now when I put them on, there's plenty of room in there. The thumb's a nice shape. I will say that the thumb it's got a nice curve, but it all seems to be at the end rather than the gradual. The padding, the padding is soft. extremely soft. As you can see, I can press through to my knuckles on that. So I would not expect that to be very hard wearing. What you do get with gloves, the more you wear it and the more you sweat, the sweat seems to go down to the front here. And I'll show you. I see this already on these. The padding's disappeared from the fingertip. That's where it starts to break away from on a good multi-layer foam. So it's disappeared at the fingertip, the padding already. Stitching wise, there's a little bit coming off here. And they don't have the elastic. It's a very short cuff area, and obviously the split to get your hand in's only short, so it hasn't got the elastic to stop any gaping type thing. But overall, if we compare, now what we'll do is I'll compare that to other 12-ounce gloves. Obviously you've all seen our club glove. It's a similar thickness on the padding, and this one's a 3-layer foam, don't forget. Ours is much neater made. It is leather, as we know. Because the reason this goes baggy and at the end there's no more foam, it's because it curves over a lot more. When you put your hand in this one, it doesn't allow you to curl your fingers in. You're making your fist sort of this way because this is too long. And again, that's why this ends up being empty at the fingertip. So there's not a lot of thought gone into making these. Whereas if you see the difference where ours curves over, when you make your fist, your fingers will curl through with it. Where on that one you can't. Now, again, when you look at most gloves, you can see this is short, so there's no, obviously there's no need for that elastic to stop the gaping. You can see on all our gloves we have the breather holes either side of the thing and on the thumb, either side of the grip bar, so you're getting that little bit extra. Also, again I'll open it, there's no padding here. There's a little bit of plastic or foam in there, but it's not, as you can see, it's not padded. And that's not padded. There's a very minimal padding in the actual wrist, so you're not going to get an awful lot of wrist support with this glove either. Whereas obviously on proper gloves, or most gloves, you do get this pad either side, which is good for parrying and blocking gloves. As you can see, this 12 ounce, this has an extra thin layer of foam more than this one, and it is a lot thicker than the padding on there, as you can see. These do weigh 12 ounce. I will weigh this one shortly and we'll find out. Now, obviously, I've explained these last week where they're injected moulded foam. Yeah, again, they're impossible to make a proper fisting, really, and keep it that way. So that is another option if you want a 12 ounce glove for either doing bag work or you're that age and that size where you're told to use 12s in sparring. That is an option. Now the Sting version of this, I would say, which is a close, to be honest, it's quite a close match. It's a black 12 ounce Velcro strap PU glove. Again, like I say, this is only £65. It does look only £65 worth on it, like, to be honest. It doesn't have a strap. It has the long gap. It has a little bit of padding here, but it doesn't have anything to stop the gaping. And again, it's the moulded foam. The thumb's too far over as well, so that's a poorly made glove, I would say. It's not a good glove. Although I do have them here. This is called the Armour Plus. again, you've got that thing where the glove curves over too far, so you're closing your hand like that, not like that. So it follows on from similar style. What you get from people like this, these people have never boxed. The owners of this company, to my knowledge, are the same. They've never boxed. So they're taking what the factory or the workers make as a pattern and saying this is how a glove should be. Not a boxer or somebody who's boxed before. So I'm really, I don't like insulting people. I'm being honest. And a lot of people, there's other YouTubers who rate this glove. Now, I don't know why or how they rate that so highly and how they justify £180 for that glove. I keep putting it on just to make sure I'm not being overly angry but look, zero wrist support, zero finger support. You can't make a full tight fist. It's uncomfortable there, if nothing else. Now, I know this company, they spend fortunes on advertising and promoting. They for me, this is a typical kind of company that spend more on advertising and buying likes on Instagrams and Google and paying for things like that, where we'll spend it on research and development so we get a more comfortable glove, more hard wearing glove and a more practical glove. They must be recouping that high expense of all that to get on Google page 1, which costs, you can pay £10,000 a week to be on Google page 1 to these SEO companies. So to recoup that money, much in a similar way we spoke last week about them recouping the licensing fee with the IBA by putting the gloves up and using cheaper materials. They're spending that money not on licensing fee but on advertising and buying Google positioning and things like that. Because if I was given a glove like that by a factory made of the same material, I would put that entry range glove, which would be less than these. It'd be sub £50 glove for me. A sub £50 glove. It's plain, it's got no air holes, it's got no padding, it's got no wrist support. Like I say, they're not brand new, but they're only a couple of months old. So I would love, I mean, some of my boxers have used the head guards, which are not that awful. They're misshapen, they spin round the head because they've got no grip line in them, they sweat. I would love to get, if anybody out there could send me a pair of the Fly 8 or 10 ounce boxing bulletproof fight gloves, I would love to see, because I've noticed a couple of years ago we seen a bit of an argument when somebody turned up with them in New York, and he said the padding's not good enough, they're not to be used on the professional show. And we've seen on YouTube, on other programs in the last 12 months where boxers have come in, looked at the glove and gone, you're not wearing them, there's no padding in them. So I would love to, I've never actually got my hands on a pair yet, so I would love to see their fight glove. If somebody else send me a pair so I can compare them to Donado, Pro-Am, Everlast, and we'll see how they really do stack up, honestly. There was a bit of a furore over the British heavyweight title fight last year where Fraser Clark got his face dented. The first punch he was hit. People are saying it was because of a custom pair of Fly gloves. Whether it is or it isn't, I would love just to see how they compare to other gloves. So that's my opinion on that. Why would you pay £180 for that glove, or £65 for that glove, when you can see the quality of leather you get. I mean, it's not just our brand, there's other brands out there that are far superior to these, and these that are made of leather, good quality leather, not cheap leather like these, but good quality leather, and at a fraction of the cost of these and these. I will say I'm disappointed in those. I'm really disappointed. And again, if you're buying gloves like that and you're paying £180 for those, you're being seriously had off. Let's see what they weigh. So here we go, one fly glove. The right one weighs 11.7 ounces. The left glove 11.5. So they're slightly underweight, and of course there'll be a little bit of sweat in those as well to add weight to them. So they're close but under. So there you have it. How people can rate them as a top glove on the internet, or people pay that kind of money for a PU glove that has no padding, no wrist support. I mean, they aren't as bad as those for the liquid moulded foam. They are. I would think they're a layered foam, maybe two layers or 3 thin layers, but they're not. They're not a £200 glove, far from it. And if the leather ones at just shy of £400 are made identical to these as they say, they're not as good as them. They're not as good as them, basically. And I'm not just saying that. They're not as good as them. They're probably not as good as Paffin Sports. Probably not as good as Ergo. They're probably not as good as many others. They are one of the. They're not as bad as Bravos. There you go. They're not as bad, but they are what they are. They're a cheap copy of other people's gloves. These, they're their own design, they're their own thing, but they are not a top quality glove. They're soft. You can feel your knuckles through there. They're too far along here. The thumb's not too bad, but it does curve there instead of being gradual. No breather holes, no wrist support, no wrist padding. All in all, not a good glove. Tell me otherwise. Try them. Like I say, if they're only a couple of months old, they were bought just before Christmas as a Christmas present. They've been used every night for 4 weeks in the gym, or near enough every 4 or 5 nights a week for the last 4 weeks in the gym. Then they're not going to last a year or two at that rate, are they? They're going to look heaving after a few more months. So that's my personal opinion, or my experienced opinion. So do the usual thing. Please like, subscribe, tick the box, pass us on to friends, tell them I don't hold back. If something is a rip-off, I will tell you it's a rip-off. That's not a rip-off, that's your own fault if you pay that kind of money for something like that. You've only got yourself to blame. Likewise, talk to me. You're going to get proper gloves at a decent price with us. These are still £50 for another week to the end of the week. Whatever's left, £50 a pair. Italian leather, 3-layer, multi-layer foam, proper gloves. Come and see me at the shop, email me, message me on YouTube here, but you buy them for that kind of money, you're a fool. See you next week.